There are over a dozen AI visibility tools on the market right now, and most of them look the same on the landing page. Same buzzwords, same feature lists, same screenshots of dashboards. So how do you tell the difference? In this video, we're putting Promptwatch and Peec AI side by side, showing you both dashboards, walking through the features that overlap and the ones that don't, and giving you a clear framework for picking the right one based on what your team actually needs. Let's get started. Before we get into the comparison, quick context for anyone still on the fence about whether you need a dedicated tool for this. AI search is changing how buyers find products and services. When someone asks ChatGPT or Perplexity what's the best project management tool for small teams, the AI picks a handful of brands to mention and a handful of sources to cite. If your brand isn't showing up in those responses, you're invisible to a growing chunk of your market. Let's start with Peec AI. Credit where it's due, the interface is clean. When you log in, you get a dashboard with your visibility metrics across AI platforms. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini. The charts are easy to read and you get a quick sense of where your brand stands. You get trend lines showing your visibility over time, competitor benchmarking so you see how you compare, and mention tracking that shows specific AI responses where your brand came up. Peec also has source analysis that shows which domains get cited most often in your space. So you'll see things like YouTube, Wikipedia, or specific industry sites ranked by citation frequency. And there's prompt performance data. You see which queries your brand appears in and where you're missing. For teams who are getting started with AI visibility tracking and want a simple visual way to understand their baseline, Peec does that well. Here's the gap though. Peec is strong on showing you what's happening, but when you see that your competitor is outranking you on a specific prompt, or that you dropped in visibility last week, the tool doesn't bridge the gap to what you should do about it. You're left interpreting the data and then building your own action plan. Now let's get inside Promptwatch. The first thing to know is that Promptwatch has a deeper feature set than Peec, which means the interface has more going on. There's a bit more of a learning curve up front, but the payoff is that you get tools for the full workflow, monitoring, analysis, and taking action. Under the research section, there's the Prompt Explorer. This is where you discover different prompts you should be tracking by either connecting your Google Search Console or manually searching different topics. Under Analytics, you have crawler logs. This gives you transparency into the raw data the tool is collecting. For agencies or technical teams who want to understand the methodology behind the numbers, this is the layer of detail that Peec doesn't offer. Promptwatch organizes your prompts into what they call monitors. These are saved groups of prompts that you track over time. So instead of running ad hoc queries, you build a stable prompt set and watch it consistently. That's the approach that produces meaningful trend data. Now let's talk about where Promptwatch pulls ahead the most. The page tracker shows which of your specific URLs are getting cited in AI responses. This matters because the real lever for AI visibility isn't tracking brand mentions, it's tracking citations to specific pages. Think about it this way. If AI mentions your brand but doesn't cite your content, you're getting name recognition without traffic. If AI cites a specific page on your site, that's a direct link between AI visibility and website visitors. Knowing which pages get cited and which don't tells you exactly where to invest your content efforts. Promptwatch gives you a full citation overview broken down by domain. But here's the part we think is most valuable. There are dedicated views for Reddit citations and YouTube citations, so you see exactly which Reddit threads AI models are pulling from when they answer questions in your space. And that also covers which YouTube videos are getting cited. For marketing teams, this tells you where to focus your content distribution, which subreddits matter, what kind of YouTube content AI models prefer to reference. Peec shows you top cited domains at a high level. Promptwatch shows you the specific pages, threads, and videos. That's a meaningful difference when you're trying to build a content strategy around AI visibility. This is where the monitoring to action loop comes in. Promptwatch takes those winning citations, the pages and content that AI models are actively referencing, and helps you create similar content for your brand. There's a built-in content generation feature that uses citation data to guide what you build. Then there's the content gap analysis. This identifies prompts where your competitors are getting cited and you're not, and surfaces the type of content you'd need to build to close that gap. So the workflow looks like this. You see where you're losing, you see what winning content looks like, and you get help building content to fill the gaps. That's the full loop. monitor, analyze, act. Peek gives you the first two, Promptwatch gives you all three. One more feature that Peek doesn't have, Promptwatch includes visitor analytics that tracks traffic coming to your site from LLMs. So you close the measurement loop too, you see your visibility in AI responses and the actual traffic those responses drive to your site. As for pricing, Promptwatch starts at $75 per month. Peek starts at 89 euros per month, which is roughly $95 USD. So here's our honest take on who should use what. If your team wants to move fast on AI visibility, if you want to see the data and have tools to act on it, Promptwatch is the stronger choice. The citation depth, the content gap analysis, the content creation tools, the LLM traffic analytics, these features connect monitoring to execution, and that's where the ROI lives. If you're brand new to AI search visibility and you mainly want to understand what AI models are saying about your brand, Peek is a reasonable starting point. The interface is simpler, the learning curve is shorter, and you'll get a clean picture of your baseline visibility. Most teams outgrow the monitoring-only approach quickly. Once you see the data, the next question is always, what do I do about it? And that's the question that Promptwatch is built to answer. So that's the full comparison. Promptwatch gives you deeper data, citation-level analysis, content creation tools, and a lower price point. Peek gives you a simpler dashboard for baseline monitoring. If you want to see Promptwatch in action for your brand, there's a link below to book a demo. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.